Hello students, so we'll go to the next algorithm, that is round robin. The example is the same one what we had seen in the previous video, but we will use round robin scheduling algorithm. So in the round robin, for simplicity, we'll do it this way. We can draw it like this, like clockwise. So P1, P2, P3, P4. Okay, it goes like this. So P1 takes 10 milliseconds to complete, P2 takes 29 milliseconds to complete, P3 takes 3, and P4 takes 7 milliseconds to complete. And the time quantum that is given to us is 10 milliseconds. So what is the meaning of this? At a time you can execute for 10 milliseconds. Okay, so we'll see that in the Gantt chart. Okay, so we will begin. So 0 millisecond, you have only one process P1, it takes 10 milliseconds to complete. So anyways our time quantum is also 10 millisecond, so you can give it. So you can allow P1 to execute for 10 millisecond. So what happened now? P1 has completed. Now you're going in the clockwise direction, that is P2. P2 actually requires 29 milliseconds to complete, but at a time you can execute only for 10 milliseconds. So this is used in your time sharing machines. Okay, so how much it can execute now? Only 10 milliseconds. So for this 10 you are adding 10, then it goes up to 29. Along with that you should also reduce 10 here. So how much is remaining now? 19 milliseconds. Okay, P3 requires only 3 milliseconds to complete, so it can be done within the time quantum. So for this 3 you are adding, it goes up to 23. So P3 also finished, completed. Okay, next you have P4. It requires 7 millisecond. Anyways time quantum is 10, so it can finish with the given time quantum, so it will go up to 30. Okay, 23 plus 7, it goes up to 30. So P4 also completed. Now you have only P2 pending. Okay, so P2 requires 90 milliseconds to complete. At a time only 10 milliseconds can be executed. So again you are giving to P2 10 milliseconds. So 30 plus 10 means it will go up to 40. And how much will be remaining? 9. Again you are giving to P2, how much is remaining? 9 milliseconds. So it will go up to 49. That 49 is nothing but this is same. Okay, so this is how we are drawing the Gantt chart. Now waiting time. So in round robin, waiting time calculating is you might get confused. Okay, so we'll just see it properly. So P1. Okay, what is the waiting time? So it came in at 0, it got at 0. So first is 0 minus 0. Do you have P1 anywhere? Once again, no problem. So you can simply write it as 0 millisecond. But for P2, we'll just check. Came in at 1 millisecond, got at 10 milliseconds. So 10 minus 1. But you can also see P2 is there again. So it executed till 20 and again it got at 30. So 30 minus 20, that is one set. Again here it stopped here. Okay, it started executing here, then it is so here no problem, again not required because P2 only is continuing. So how much is the waiting time here? 9 plus 10, that is 19 milliseconds. Okay, P3 now came in at 2 millisecond, got at 20 millisecond. So 20 minus 2, that is 18 millisecond. Next P4 came in at 3 millisecond, got at 23. So 23 minus 3, that is 20 millisecond. Therefore average waiting time is equal to 0 plus 19 plus 18 plus 20 divided by 4. Okay, so how much? 3, 4, 5. 57 by 4. Okay, so just simplify those many number of milliseconds. Okay, now we'll go to turnaround time. Turnaround time formula is burst time plus waiting time. So burst time is given in the question, so we'll write the burst time 10, 29, 3, 7. and waiting time you are going to get here 0, 19, 18, 20, 10, 48, 21, 27. Therefore, average turn around time will be equal to 10 plus 48 plus 21 plus 27 divided by 4. Those many number of milliseconds. Okay. I hope you have understood this. Thank you.